this time, and they start with experienced goalkeeper Geoffrey Claffey between the posts, his 25th championship match. And what would a Roscommon team be without a Shawnee McDermott from Western Gales at cornerback? Today he has Sean Mullooly alongside him. The half-back line has been freshened up by the inclusion of John McManus and David Murray, both very much with youth on their side. In the middle of the park, wearing 8 and 19 now, are Niall Daly and David Keenan. The team captain and strong creative force, Kieran Murtagh, is on the 40, already the scorer of 1-6 in this year's championship, while the inside line will show Senan Kilbride and Donny Shine back in harness, with the prompting coming from the experienced Cathal Craig. Opponents Sligo have Aidan Devaney as last line of defence. It's his 3rd championship season. It's a familiar full back line and shows the return of Owen Flanagan in the left corner. He missed the last 3 games of the Alliance League season. The most familiar name in the half back line is the number 7. Brendan Egan plays his 30th championship match, having started with London in 2004. The centre field pairing has changed today. Niall Murphy will be there, and on paper at least, Noel Gahan is alongside him in place of Cian Breheny. Cian's uncle Mark starts at centre half forward, hoping to reach a 6th Connacht final, which would be a record for a Sligo player. And the inside line, minus David Kelly, features Adrian Marin and Pat Hughes, plus debut man Kyle Cawley. Roscommon will be fancied on their home patch, Michael, for the 2nd time. There's a very light breeze blowing in favour of Sligo for the opening half here as Craig kicks that one in. Judging the bounce accurately is his namesake Cathal Craig. Threads it through to Conor Devaney. Awkward angle. Makes the most of it. Good start. 59 seconds gone.
Yeah, well, what a great ball, Ger, by Craig. He just looked one look and he hits it without a bounce. Great ball, great score, and you can see that Roscommon are going to play direct already, because that's
Ali Harrison. Sligo retain the possession. Pat Hughes fouled. The referee gives the free kick. The ball had gone in and hit the cross. A left-footed free taker. This to put Roscommon back in front. 20 metres out. Should be a straightforward enough kick for him, and is. David Keenan, number 19, another player who got a late call-up to start this match. Mullooly once again. Again, lots and lots of hand passes, and the crowd urging them to get the ball in. Finally they do, and it's Niall Daly who kicked 3 points against Donegal in a very good league match this year. Senan Kilbride all the way back once again towards Keenan. Puts his right boot through it this time. No hanging around, and David Keenan gets his first point of this match. Aidan Devaney here playing his 8th championship match in the county colours. Looking for a runner here, and it's Niall Murphy. And Murphy has lost his marker, who's Keenan. Straightens himself, steadies himself, kicks it brilliantly. And that's a first score for Sligo now for some 10 minutes.
Showing great strength to hold off the tackle and to be able to kick it at the end of that. Many players, when they take on
kick out. Geoffrey Claffey has given that one away, and it's booted back with considerable interest and over the bar. And it's another one for Adrian Marin, his 2nd player. Kieran Murtagh. Mention of quality. This is Cathal Craig, laid off as far as John McManus. His dad would have hit it. He has a go. Why not?
Another great score. What I love to see about that, Ger, is the conviction with which these players hit the ball. It just shows a great lot of confidence. He actually looked up to pass that ball and said, I'm as good as anybody else to kick it, and so he does.
Well, his dad Tony won 6 Connacht championships, and that's John's first ever point in championship football. 4-3 the Rossies lead.
Opposed to good defending, you can get back, but you need to be able to tackle well. Roscommon are not getting in so far in on the man where they're fouling. They're getting their hand on the ball and knocking it away every time.
McIntyre, helped by Mark Breheny, in as far as Pat Hughes again. Really good leader of the attack. Oh, he turned brilliantly, and the teams are level for the 3rd time. Hughes the scorer, and there are 70 minutes gone.
Yeah, and he's doing very well. And Mullooly, while he's doing very good coming forward, I'm not sure if he's picking up Pat Hughes, but he needs to be as well.
Cathal Craig trying to feed that one through to Devaney. Didn't quite work out. It was well read, well cut out. And Sligo have the opportunity now to go forward again with Neil Ewing. After him there went Devaney. Kicked in. It's 2 against 1 in there. And the referee's racing in. Hughes went off the ground. And it is a penalty, as Tom Carr says.
Has to be a penalty. Very clear-cut, no doubt about it whatsoever. And I think it was Pat Hughes again. He's causing all sorts of bother for Malooly. He's causing all sorts of bother for Roscommon, and this could change the game a little bit. And it could be a black card if the referee interprets as pulling him down. Yellow card, a little bit lucky to stay on.
Third yellow card issued by the referee, Joe McQuillan from Cavan. But the important thing now is that Sligo have a real goal opportunity here now. Remember, this time last year, Adrian Marin converted a penalty in Markovich Park. There was the incident. All eyes on the ball here. Malooly
on your left, on Malooly on your left.
Side, jumped in on top of
jumped in the player. Couldn't see because he's back. Had his back turned to the ball. Oh, it's a bit of a mortal sin to do that. You got to avoid the player, especially in the square, and he knew he was approaching square. He
also had the sun in his eyes. Adrian Marin has got 3 championship goals so far, but got 1 from the penalty last year. Can he repeat the dose? He most certainly can, and Sligo are leading this game for the first time. Wonderfully taken after 22 minutes. Hit it straight to the left of the goalkeeper. Just avoided the custodian and into the back of the net.
With last Sunday, just no little runs being made for him if he decides to change his mind halfway in his run up to the ball. That's a little bit of creativity you like to see with teams.
But Charlie Harston going off there, he missed all of last season because of a torn cruciate. I hope it's not an injury that forces him out. Adrian McIntyre onto this one immediately here. It's kicked again by Niall Murphy. Missed the free, takes the score. A second shot from open play that is rewarded, and it's now 1-5 to 4 points.
Order for a bit of dissent.
Well, it's been 10 minutes since they scored now, the Rossies. So the team captain, Kieran Murta, can put this one over, leave just a goal between the teams again. 10 minutes to go to half-time. Very interesting match. His first point from a free in this game.
Yeah, it's an interesting game, Ger, and I think that Kevin McStay, Liam McHale will want to, and Fergie will want to get that team as soon as possible. Half-time can't come quick enough. They're not really performing. Yeah, they look like they could get a goal. Hasn't come off. But if this game continues, Sligo will get more confident. Roscommon will get a little bit more nervous, the weight of expectations. So Roscommon not really delivering a difference whatsoever. But again, the quick hands, the physicality, turning inside. Ooh, poor miss. Poor miss by Cathal Craig. Had an opportunity. Was hit just at the right moment. Got a little touch, swung around. He was going to blast it to the net, but just came off the right-hand side of his right foot.
Keelan opening. 1-5 to 5 points. Roscommon trailing, looking for the next score. Keenan takes a return ball. Somebody's got to kick it eventually. Keenan bounces. He's already scored, and he has repeated the dose. He's got a second point.
Well, there was great intricacy to that score. So many hands turned around so many times. Catches out a defence, creates a great opening, steps inside. Good kick, unlucky not to make the block there. But Donny Shine has come out around the middle of the park for Roscommon, has lent them a hand out there in gaining possession, has turned the tide a little bit against Sligo. And you will always do that if you win the possession around the middle of the park, because you're on the ball and you're attacking.
Keenan's work rate is immense. Great score that time for him. Out as far as Neil Ewing. Not exactly a scorer, but a worker. Works very, very hard.
He's done huge work there, absolutely, carrying that ball from defence to attack all day.
Good ball down. As far as Kyle Cawley, we haven't seen this lad yet. Had a great league campaign. Goes back into class tomorrow to do the next couple of papers and the leaving cert. I believe it's Maths and Irish. Right now it's Adrian McIntyre. Back as far as Adrian Marin, and Marin kicks and puts it over the bar. He's got a goal and 3 points now. And that was started by Kyle Cawley. He'll be happy with that.
Yeah, and the man that let him in was Sean Purcell.
Comes Kevin MacDonald. Did play in midfield. The NUIG student. David Keenan trying to keep tabs on him. Staying with him, then giving it back as far as Pat Hughes, and Hughes, the man who engineered the penalty and got that, kicks the point here, his second of the match.
Well, watch the way he kicks the point, Ger. Look at the amount of room he's given. Stands way too far off the man. You cannot do that to Pat Hughes. He's been shown that.
Fintan Craig led off for Roscommon in some regards. One of Sligo's best forwards out of the picture. One of Roscommon's best is coming in. Oh, what a stop by Devaney. They still go forward here. John McManus this time holding on. Out to McDonald of Sligo. Aidan Devaney made a magnificent save there. Daniel May takes it out. What a game this is turning out to be.
Inspirational stuff, Ger. Have to say, from Devaney, great save, great tackling by the Sligo defence, especially after losing the men they're after losing. They're digging in, they're dogged.
We'll see it again in a minute, but Conor Devaney was coming in that time. When he laid off the pass, it looked to be a certain goal for one of his colleagues. Here they come again here. Oh,
brilliant. Excellent. Pure brilliance. And we saw a goal like that scored against Fermanagh by Donegal earlier on the clips here. But brilliant, brilliant reaction stuff. Donie Shine foiled by Aidan Devaney. And on comes Cian Breheny. 20 years of age, made his debut last year against Roscommon. He's on now to lend considerable assistance, because that's what they're going to need. And here he is, first touch. Breheny in. Pursued there by John McManus. 3 minutes of added time being played now. 1-7 to 6 points. Not the scoreline many people had envisaged coming to this game. Mark Breheny. People said surely Sligo can't do it 2 years running. They've done it in the past. Kicked in awkwardly. Bounces okay for Jeffrey Claffey. Surprised Pat Hughes. Much of this first half, they've dealt with it very capably. Niall Murphy now launching the next counter all the way down to Pat Hughes. McInerney goes out, but this Pat Hughes is a real bother to anybody who marks him this afternoon, and there is nobody really able to contain him adequately, and he's now got a third, and it's a third point in a row for Sligo as well, and they lead here close to half-time by 1-8 to 6 points. He's got two off Maluli, he's got one McInerney, and Kevin McStay doesn't need to be told what the problem is. It's the long ball into Pat Hughes, and it's closing him down for the... Welly hits it all the way down inside the Roscommon 45-metre line. Kyle Cawley goes after it. Sean Purcell can't get it. Cawley can. Oh, is it over the line? It is now. A second Sligo goal in the first half. And it may well be the debut man, the leading cert student, Kyle Cawley, who's got his first ever championship goal here. He went in pursuit, denied the first time, but that is his, no doubt. And it was handled on the ground too, but what a great score by Cawley. Just shows you what work rate and doggedness can do. Chases it up, brilliant. Yeah, there's going to be a penalty anyway.
Lead, obviously, for them. Can they do it again?
Well, listen, they'd be very happy at half-time, I think, to go in with an 8-point lead. Roscommon will be very disappointed at half-time. Very. There
is a strong breeze now, we should say that.
Yeah, there is a strong win, Michael, but I think they'd be very disappointed. While they've threatened the Sligo goal, they've carved open 2 or 3 goal chances. From number 1 to number 9, they're a mess. They're all over the place. They're kick-outs. The keeper doesn't look confident. There's no structure around the middle of the park. And basically, Sligo took a foothold in the middle. Pat Murphy has been very good in the middle of the park. You know, inside you've had Pat Hughes, excellent. Adrian Marin until he got the black card. They've kicked some great scores. Now, there is a strong win. Roscommon have a huge amount to improve. They're 8 points behind. I don't think they're dead, because they look like a team that's going to get goals, but they've left themselves a mountain to climb, and Sligo just look like a better balanced team.
That Adrian Marin, by the way, that black card is a big factor in this game, Joe. Well, the commentators were unsure about it. We've been trying to look and see, can we place it? You think it was a black card?
Yeah, I mean, from what you can see here, it's very clear. And, you know, he's one of the high-grade footballers out there. There's been him and Pat Hughes now. I cannot overestimate how strong the breeze is. I mean, when I
is that a black card?
That's a black card.
It's a third man tackle. It's a deliberate body check. It's a black card. So fair play to Joe McQuillan if he was wrong.
Well, it was right in front of him.
And it's a huge blow for him, because, like I said, the stats show he had 4 possessions in that half. He scored a goal and 3 points. He's their best forward. He's going to be a huge loss.
I mean, I cannot tell you how atrocious Roscommon have been. I mean, no movement up front. I mean, no movement. I was out there watching the game. I mean, Donie Shine just stands there. You know, he reminds me of Hugh McIlvanney's great line about Joe Bugner, you know, like a Greek statue with fewer moves. I mean, literally, he's standing there. There's no movement. They're playing without a half-forward presence, so the half-forwards have gone deep. Now, I can appreciate that when you're playing against a strong breeze, you'll try to be more defensive. But generally, they have been atrocious all over the field. And yet, just let me finish the sentence. And yet, they probably have a sporting chance, because Sligo's sweeper, who's number 17, has come back in, and he's all over the place. So Roscommon have been running through them.
They look like a
team.
Not taking advantage. They look like a team.
Kieran, he may not be finished the sentence now.
It made no sense.
The positive is they're creating goal chances. Now, they've had to work it in closer in that first half. With this wind, will allow them to clip scores from distance, and that's where they do have a good forward line where they get scores. They've got the likes of Donny Smith to bring off the bench, Enda Smith to bring off the bench. They have a few few lads. I think he'll shake. Kevin and Fergal will shake it up at half-time. They need to make changes.
He's going to have in his corner now.
Breaks it to himself, goes after it. 2 men in pursuit of him. Back to Fintan Craig, Donald Keenan, all the way across here. Niall Daly. Oh, here's a goal chance. What a start! 23 seconds into the second half, and Senan Kilbride comes up from lovely deft flick beyond Aidan Devaney, and it's now 2-8 to 1-6. What crisis!
And then not alone that, but he could have caught the ball inside. That's just what Roscommon need. That's exactly what Sligo didn't need. They just needed to consolidate this game in the first 10 minutes. Let's see what the response is like, because that's crucial.
Perfect start for Roscommon. Exactly what Kevin McStay and Fergal O'Donnell and the rest of the management team would have been looking for. That time they were the ones testing out that Roscommon, that Sligo full back line, and it didn't look all that terribly smart. Cian Breheny in as far as Cian Cawley, or Kyle Cawley rather. Back once again from Breheny up towards Pat Hughes, one of the stars of the first half with his 3 points from play, and he's won a free kick. He's proving himself to be one of the best full forwards in the game at the moment.
But he's certainly the best full forward today among both sets of teams, because he is so hard to contain. He's one thing on his mind when he gets that ball, and that's to go for goal.
Well, this is Mark Breheny, who hasn't had a chance to take a free kick so far. Adrian Marad would have been one of the options as well. Mark Breheny, 15th championship season in the Sligo shirt. An important kick now, some about 35 metres out. It's on its way beautifully. Nicely over the bar. First point for Mark Breheny. An important response to that goal by Senan Connell a few moments ago. Nice little flick by Connell. Taken back from Senan Connell. There as far as Donny Shine. And Shine finally gets his first score. They've got a goal and a point now. Started the second half. And we're Niall Daly steadying himself. Likes to hit these shots from distance. Oh, the goalkeeper's in awful trouble. And got away with it. Do the lottery tonight, your numbers will come up. You look to be completely lost that time.
Oh, but
lost in the sun and wind and everything.
Look, watch, he's lost by coming out too far. He thought he was coming out to challenge an incoming forward, but he had plenty of time, plenty of space and plenty of protection. He didn't need to do that. So from pulling off and nearly a match-winning save in the first half, he...
A 45 coming up, and Jeffrey Claffey looking to take this one. Goalkeepers are so adept at this.
Well, they're actually doing it for fun now, Ger. Great kick by Devaney.
Back out here as far as Conor Devaney. Got the first point. He's now got the latest. 2 for
momentum to Roscommon, who are really taking on it with huge amount of intensity every time.
Owen Flanagan's foul results in this next attack. Fintan Craig off as far as Donny Shine. He's got a point already, and now he's getting into his stride. One of the great leaders of that super minor team of 2006. And Roscommon have now got the last 4 points of this match, and it's 2-9 to 110. 13 points. Don't want to surrender their lead. Murphy lays it off here. Keelan Cawley back once again as far as Pat Hughes. One man who can score. Puts his boot through it and puts it over the bar. He's got 4 points, 3 in the first half. That's a great return by the number 14.
Unmarkable. Neil Collins tackling him, and he's a good tackler. He's a big man.
From that full back line, Neil Collins once again, but he really has, they all have their hands full with Pat Hughes this afternoon. Down beautifully once again, bounces kindly, broken off for Fintan Craig, has a support player, it's Murtagh! The captain, Kieran Murtagh! Level, 210 to 210. The sides are level for the 4th time, and it's Kieran Murtagh's 4th ever championship goal. What a goal, what movement!
Brilliant movement, but brilliant passing, but great vision to give that ball. Roscommon knowing what's required. Getting by Devaney, could do absolutely nothing. And it's that rush again, it's the man on the old back play by Collins. He's judging the ball, the low ball, he's out in front. He's able to tip down the high ball and get out for it in front. But again, we have to emphasise Pat Hughes looks tired and that he's been carrying this team.
That's a kick by Kieran Murta. 3 players were involved and Murta has now got a goal and 2 points. Great performance, and it's Roscommon who go back into the lead once again here. It's been a long time since they were in front in this match, but they're back in front now by 2-11 to 2-10.
Yeah, and that bit of space we mentioned.
The lead once again here. It's been a long time since they were in front in this match, but they're back in front now by 2-11 to 2-10.
Yeah, and that bit of space we mentioned before, it's allowed Murta inside. He's given him the bit of space to kick the ball. He's relaxed doing it.
Oh, an awful kick out. They're in trouble again here. Niall Daly. Devaney stopped. Was it a foot block? Referee allows play to continue.
Penalty.
It is a penalty. Another penalty in this game.
Pushing the back, Gerard came straight in. Really didn't need to do so. The ball was hanging. The player had it. Watch the kick out. And there's been some poor kick-outs. Unfortunate, Sligo player falls, but great run-in, cuts inside on the path. Great leave-off, great save initially. There's the penalty.
By 4, 14 minutes left. It's very definite advantage the Rossies.
And you're watching class unfolding in front of your eyes, because that's Kieran Murta. What a player. Out of his hands, off the ground, in play, great vision. He has it all.
Certainly has. At the right side, he's 13 metres out. This to make it 3-11 to 2-11. 1 point from 2 frees taken so far in the second half, and he went short with one of those. Makes no mistake. All the way across as far as David Murray. Threads it beautifully forward into the hands of John McManus. Murray to take a return. It's all Roscommon at this stage. Support play. Doesn't use him, and finally it is poked over the bar by Enda Smith. Only on minutes, so they could have 14 minutes still in which to save themselves in the Connacht Championship. As Breheny puts it over the bar, he's now got a third, so now it's 3-12 to 2-12. Let's have some more comment now from Charlotte Burns.
Yes, Ger, in the second half, I suppose you're really seeing now the advantage that the win gives to a team, as well as that the half-forward line that didn't take any responsibility, and an awful lot was expected of in the first half, really started to shine in the second half, and all of those players really began to take the responsibility that they hadn't done in the first half. So, as well as that, Pat Hughes has been well held by Neil Collins, and I think this is Roscommon's game now.
And they're coming again, and Roscommon have got another score. And it is Donald Smith. So we've had so near to being a 4th. Back up as far as Pat Hughes. Kicking it smartly. Beautifully over. He's got a 5th. Whatever happens here today, he certainly hasn't let the side down. He's given great direction at full forward. He has terrorised that Roscommon full backline on occasions, and he's taken most of his chances. Cathal Compton here, one of the great under-21s of recent years. Niall McInerney. Devaney. Oh, here it must be. Oh, dear. Over the... Is it wide? It's a point.
Oh, it's a point, yeah. It's a point, but Devaney is disappointed. He'd like to have got the goal and finish off this game if it's not already finished. But again, that overlap ball every time. I was watching the Sligo defence that time, Gerald. They're not even able to turn and get back with the man because Devaney stole inside on the blind side. And the good teams do that. They're just able to creep inside, lose their man on the way.
For the record, that was David Keenan's 3rd point. Busy again. Sean McDermott. Keenan again. Trying to chip the goalkeeper. Did well. All the way down, he comes once again towards Donald Smith. Smith trying to steal a march there on Liam Henry. 2 players who didn't start the match, but they're finishing it. Oh, right across the face of goal. They go again. Enda Smith, who's already got a point. And now he's got a goal as well. And there is a 4th.
Cheeky. Didn't need the goal, but a great goal by Enda Smith. Solos it on his right. Watch this. Badly sold. Squeezes it on the near side of the keeper, which no keeper expects to be that side. He's always leaving the angle on the other side. Watch. Devaney steps out, turns it back across the plate. Great score. It's the icing on the cake for Roscommon. Fergie O'Donnell looking at him, absolutely delighted on the sideline. I'm sure they were nervous at half-time. They can relax now. Look forward to the next one.
And not a blessed thing that Aidan Devaney could do about that, the goalkeeper. Well struck by Enda Smith. And Aidan Devaney, I suppose, must dread coming here to Hyde Park. Beaten 6 times in the Connacht final last year, 4 this afternoon.
Their first half performance won't get them very far in the championship this year, not as far as their expectations, but the second half will.
Now Kilroy on as well for Vintage Craig, and they're coming once again relentlessly now. Donald Smith over the bar, 2 for him, 1-1 for Enda Smith. So the Smiths having fun in the sunshine of Hyde Park.
Yeah, the Smiths have provided a huge amount of mobility on that forward.
And the breaking ball here for James McDermott to come and gather, make his little contribution late into the game. Back to Conor Devaney. Beautiful shape on that shot. 3rd for Devaney. He's a really good player.
He's a really good player, yeah.
2006 minors.
Yeah, and all these scores, Gerard, being from a bit of distance. Great kicking, very confident with the kicks, plenty to spare. And again, that relentless attacking by Roscommon, and it's an example of how to attack. You attack in numbers, not just putting in a ball and having nobody coming off it.
So the margin is 9 points deep into stoppage time. And now it's just a matter of playing out the last few moments. Non-stop attacking play by Roscommon. They all want to get in on the act, but
we should have put a few away. We would have felt we should have had a goal myself, and you know, we put those chances away in the second half, and we moved really well up front, and you know, looked fairly slick at times. So that was a much better half of football.
Did you think you maybe overcomplicated things in the first half, not making the most of that possession that you did have?
Yeah, definitely. Early on, I thought we were moving really well, and the backs were very tight, and you know, we should have put more scores on the board. There was a tough breeze there coming down the pitch, and we were straight into it in the first half. But you know, that's no excuse. We should have been putting those chances away.
Do you think Roscommon are back on track now? You've got this Connacht final to look forward to.
I suppose after last year, you know, Sligo came and beat us when we were big favourites. Didn't look good for at times today, but you know, we dug deep and got out of jail. So, look forward to the Connacht final.
Congratulations on today, Johnny.
Thank you very much.
Well, he is looking forward because Tony Shine and his colleagues are heading to...
And in the second half, when they got a platform in the middle third of the field, I mean, they scored 4 goals and 10 points in the second half. I'd say for one half of football, that's probably the highest score from any team this year. 4-10 to 6 points. Their movement, the variety of their play was absolutely superb. Now, at the same time, it was far from being a vintage Roscommon performance. They missed 5 clear goal-scoring chances. And the big question mark is, and if you go back in the league, and in the last 3 league matches against Dublin, against Mayo and Kerry, when they lose that centre field battle, when they lose that middle third of the field, you can have the greatest forwards in the world and you struggle. In the first half against Mayo, they got 3 points. First half against Dublin, they got 4 points. First half against Kerry in the league semi-final, they get 5 points. So, look, a good victory, a deserved victory, but I'll tell you this, Mayo won't be shaking their boots. But can I finally say something? Look, well done to Sligo. We were here almost 12 months ago. They were humiliated by 29 points by Roscommon. And look, for 55 to 60 minutes today, they made a hell of a contest. And you have to feel sorry for Adrian Martin, but he was rightly sent off. And you just have to admire, you know, Pat Hughes, who was ploughing a lone furrow up front and scored 5 points from play in a one-man band. So
I suppose, Kieran, a good thing from a Roscommon point of view is they win the game clearly in the end. And yet, at the same time, as Pat said, they will sit down and look at themselves and say, we need to do better.
Yeah, well, any manager coming out of a game will look to where they can improve. And as we alluded to at half-time, they've had a lot of injuries this year, and getting the balance to the right team, they haven't had a proper structure in the middle of the park all year. And I think that's key to them going anywhere this year, because the strong wind gave them that momentum going forward, and they've great options in the forward line. They're a very strong running team. When they run down the direct heart of a team's defence, they will open them up. And we said at half-time there was goals in Roscommon. We knew they were coming. That Sligo defence is very porous, very poor. But yes, Kevin McStay, Fergie O'Donnell will go away from this and say we still have work to do defensively. They're still very suspect on their own kickouts. We need to get midfield sorted. If they can get those improvements, the forwards will look after themselves. But they've plenty to work on.
All right, we have another break to take here on the programme. But just before that, another chance for you to...
I'd like to look at it again anyway.
Charlie, latest injury for him, is it serious?
Yeah, it doesn't look good. He's gone for an X-ray there on his shoulder, so we'll see how he is.
What will you take out of this? Because obviously for the first half you did match them, and it certainly didn't look like there was two divisions between you.
Yeah, look, I suppose we stuck to our structure well in the first half. You know, we stuck to our structure defensively as well. But I think in the second half, maybe the 8-point lead might have flattered us a small bit, and we just didn't work as hard as we did in the second half as we did in the first. So, you know, when you're outworked, then you're going to have men coming off the shoulder from everywhere, and that's really what cost us, you know.
Okay, thank you, Donald.
No bother.
All right, well, obviously it is Sligo for the qualifiers, but the question, Joe Brodley, is from Roscommon's point of view, are they good enough to win the Connacht Championship?
No.
Why?
Because they're a total mess. The question you asked yourself about...
They're winning the game easy.
I know, but I mean, come on, Sligo were 3 to 5 metres off their men. I was out there. I mean, Roscommon could have scored 10 goals in the second half. And the question you ask yourself about any team is, how do they respond in adversity? If things start to go against them, can they control the pace of the game? Can they slow it down? You know, can they get the scores that they need at that time? Can they eke them out? So, for example, if something goes wrong with the Dubs, you see that they just stick with their system. Donegal, they just stick with their system and they get through those problems. I mean, Roscommon collapsed in the first half against a Division 3 team, who I have to say, take 3 players out of that team, and it's a very poor side. And in the second half, I don't think Roscommon can take any comfort from that today. They ran through against a team that weren't defending. They had a gale force breeze at their backs. They do have some good finishers, and they want to play a bit.
They had to be nervous, though, after losing to them last year. That's not a factor.
I'm not so sure. You watch that game and you understand exactly why Kerry humiliated